Hello everybody, my name is Russell from HeliosAirlines, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video on how to use the simple flight controls including a yoke, throttle and rudder pedals, or just rudders. Now, anyways, today I'm just going to be also saying that I am a part of HeliosAirlines, as I just said, and we are just saying that you guys can join our virtual airline. We do VATSIM and we do training as well for VATSIM. We also just train you how to fly planes and how to do specific stuff, like if you wanted to do an ILS landing, we can teach you how to do that. If you want to know how to make your landing rate smoother, we can teach you how to do that. Flaps and all that sort of stuff, we can teach you how to do that. This is just our YouTube video tutorials. Now, if you want to join our Teamspeak, the Teamspeak will be right on the screen and it will be in the description, so that if you want to just make it easier and copy our link, then you can just join. This is professional, so don't come around and call yourself any names of profanity or any sort of racist remarks. No jokes at all either. You have to be quite serious. We don't ask much of you. If you do this and you want to become an active member has to do, we haven't fully decided, but I think it's around 2 flights a week, tracked flights. So tracked flights work by, if you download one of our trackers, basically you just set the tracker up before each flight, you press fly, you track your flight, you land, and your sort of review, so your overall landing and your whole journey will be filed, sent to a server. We will review it, we will either accept it or reject it depending on what happened in the flight. So if you landed too hard, way too hard, have to be rejected. If you landed successfully with under about -650 feet per second, then that's accepted. We do have high boundaries, but to be fair, we are giving everyone the chance, really. So when you join, you'll be a trainee. You just have to sign up to our website. You have to download vPilot, which is the way to connect VATSIM, because we want to train you guys to get into VATSIM so that you are more confident with flying overall. This is for the serious members, not for just the jokers. If you are joking around or messing with us, or in the way trolling with us, then you will be kicked from the session. So, without further ado, let's head on into the video. Okay, so now this is the Beechcraft aircraft that's prepared for V4 has for us. So I'm just going to be teaching you a couple of things. This indicator on your screen right here is your artificial horizon. Now this will tell you if you're banking left or right, how many degrees you're banking left or right. It will also tell you how many degrees you are pitching up or down. This shows you what your aircraft looks like in the air, but it's not a perfect representation, because obviously your artificial horizon may break depending. This one is your speed indicator. It just shows you how fast you're going. This is measured in knots. If you want to know how much that is in miles per hour, just do a conversion. Just search up on Google knots to miles per hour. But we always refer to knots. So as you can see, the green part of your speed indicator is your acceptable range. The yellow part is your unacceptable. Well, unacceptable is your warning range in a way, and red is unacceptable, which can cause stuff like landing gear failures, because it will break your landing gear, it can break your flaps, it can damage your engines, overstress your engines, stuff like that. This indicator, this panel, is your altitude indicator, or also known as altimeter. So your altimeter shows you how far you're off the ground. So it currently says we're 100 feet. This is from sea level, by the way. So what happens is that if we raise up, the big hand shows you in how many 100 feet you are doing it. So if you, right now it says we are 100 feet off the ground. The small hand shows you in how many 1,000 feet you're doing it. So if the small hand was on the 1 and the big hand was on the 2, we are on 1,200 feet. It's as simple as that, and it doesn't get more complex. You may have to reset your altimeter at a certain height, but apart from that, that's literally as complex as it will get for now. This panel right now shows you whether your aircraft is tilting left or right. That is basically it for that panel. This panel shows your vertical speed. So this shows you how far you are going up and how fast you are going down. Again, you have to be very careful. You don't really want to go too high up or down. We're not going to go over the other two panels because they're a little bit more complex. So that's just going to be the end of that. We're going to leave that as all the panels you need to know, the first 5 panels. Now we're not going to teach you about the lights yet. We'll teach you in another video. We will be moving on to a better plane, like a PMDG product. I will be going over flaps and spoilers and stuff like that in another video again. We're going to be teaching you about the rudder. I'll teach you about the trims in another video. Today we're just merely focusing on the yoke, the throttle, and the rudders. And I'm going to be teaching you how this affects the aircraft. So first of all, we're going to be talking about the yoke. This is your main steering of the aircraft. Push the yoke forward and your plane will go into a dive. It will basically pitch the aircraft down. What this does is this will move the elevators, which are these panels at the back of your plane, which I'll show you in a second. It will move them down. That way that you'll go down. Pull these back up and it will move your elevators up. It will rotate them upwards. This way it will make you take off from the ground because of the way that you are pushing air. If you rotate the yoke to the left or the right, this is the yoke by the way if you didn't know already. If you rotate it to the left or the right, it will change the way the ailerons work on the wing. So the wing is here. If we rotate it to the left, as you can see, it will make this one move up and it will make the other one move down because now the wind is causing on this wing to push upwards, which will cause the wing to go down, and then on the other wing it will cause the right wing to go up. So that way you are rotating to the left as well as you can, and again on the other wing, rotate it right. You are pushing the air up, which makes you bank to the right, and then the other one's getting pushed up, which makes the left wing go upwards. So again, you're banking more to the right, and just the other way around, just so that you can see it. I don't know if I can show you the elevators without going to the outside view, which I will do right now. To get to the outside view, go on views, change view, outside spot. So this is our spot view. To zoom in, hold space, and then just scroll. So again, your elevators are just on the back of your plane right here. So as you can see, this is if I'm going and I'm pushing down. As you can see, it pushes the elevators down, and if I'm going upwards as well. Now the rudder is on the back here, the part at the back. I'm not going to give you just the correct names for now of the actual parts of the aircraft, just for the sake of simplicity, because otherwise you'll be searching for a while. But I will be giving you all the correct names of the parts of the aircraft. So as you can see, this is if I want to go to the right, it will move the rudder to the right, and again with the left. So this is moving to the right, and this is moving to the left. So as you can see, we're on runway 19. Apparently, I thought I was at Gatwick, but it appears that I've moved away from Gatwick. How I could tell, I have scenery at Gatwick, and this is 100% not Gatwick, because Gatwick only has 26 left, 26 right, 8 left, and 8 right. So as you can see, this is kind of third-person styled. If you want to fly like this, great, but it's not very nice, trust me. Virtual cockpit, right? So how the throttles work are as followed. Once the throttle has been given power to it, so if I push the throttles forward, it will give the aircraft power. This will make the propellers spin more, and thus creating more energy, which will make the plane move faster. It will give the energy more. It gives the plane more force to go forward because of pushing it backwards. It's just differential forces, whatever the correct name for it is. It's just opposite forces really. Push something backwards and something else will go forward. So I'm going to just do a simple takeoff. I'm not going to do this as properly, but I'm just going to simply do a loop around the airport. So what you want to do is you don't want to push the aircraft into a full out. You don't want to push the aircraft straight into 100%, because that way you just want the engines to kind of settle a bit, start up a little bit. So you can use your rudders to readjust yourself so that you don't go off center line. As you can see, I'm using my right rudder now to try and position myself, and then using my left rudder again. So as you can see, I'm not even at 100% now. Now I am at 100% because the engines are warmed up. I'm sorry that if there's no noise, it's just I have to turn noise down because noise seems to really affect my videos. Now, once we're at about 80 knots, we can start to rotate. Now, once you rotate, you'll start lifting off the ground. We're just going to do a loop round. We're not going to do any of the other features because, again, this video is merely on the yoke, the throttle, and your rudder pedals. Now, this isn't going to tell you every scenario in which you should use, but as you can see, I'm pitching the plane up. I'm not pitching out far. 10 degrees sort of maximum. So as you can see, red light over there shows that there's an airport nearby, so I'm just going to land at that airport rather than doing a loop around. It just seems more sensible. So when you're landing, you don't want to land fast, and when you're taking off, you don't want to take off too slowly, otherwise you'll just stall out of the air. Take off too late, and it might be too late. You'll just go off the edge of the runway, or you might clip something, which is never a good sign. So when you're coming into land, you don't want to be too fast. You really don't want to be too fast. You want to make sure that you've got 3 green lights on your landing gear, but let's not get into that right now. So I'm just going to decrease the throttle to slow the aircraft down. Okay, so I'm going to try and align myself with the runway. Now, a simple lesson in lights, just because I'll get in more depth, but basically you want to have 2 red and 2 white lights. That way you know that you're having a good descent. If you have more red than white, then you need to pull up a bit, and if you have more white than red, you need to go down a bit. If you have full white or full red, then if you have full red, you need to really pull up a bit, and if you have all white, then you need to pull down a bit, or abandon your landing, because if you're way too high, then it's not good. So right now, as you can see, we are at 700 feet. My throttle is about 40%. Again, I should be using other things right now, but I'm not going to, just for the sake of this video. I don't know why the ground's blue right now. Maybe it's a smurf, I don't know. Right. Enough of the unhilarious banter. Okay. So we are a bit high right now. But that's only because I don't want to clip the tree. Okay, that's 2 red, 2 white. So as you can see, when you're center lining, you don't want to make massive movements on the yoke. If you overshoot it, you might have to abandon it. Don't think, no, I don't want to abandon it, it takes longer, or oh, I've just programmed in this route and I don't know how to reset it, or blah. You definitely abandon it. Don't be a risk taker. Right, I'm sorry if I'm moving a lot because my controller is not very good. So I may have clipped that tree, but that's just the scenery being annoying. Okay, so at the last second, I'm not really center line, but we can go for it. Flare, flare. Okay, that's a nice landing. Just want to center line yourself, add some brakes in there. So brakes are actually on the pedals themselves. You just push the top of the pedal down, and of the rudder pedals, and you will start to brake. My centerline skills is not great in this aircraft. So when you come to a full stop, remember, make sure your throttles are on idle. Now, some planes may have reversers. I don't believe this plane does have reversers or the capability of reversers. So as you can see, we're not going backwards. That's because we don't have the proper setup on our engines to go backwards. So I will be teaching you that in the 737, but don't worry about it for now. So that's simply how to use this. And the rudder pedals, as you can see, rudder pedals kind of use it for moving left and right rather than rotating left or right. Pitch, use it for going up and down, tilting left and right, and throttle, use it to change your speed. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Again, if you do want to join our virtual airline, link in the description. We are serious, and hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.